Okay, guys. We're going to get rolling here shortly. Okay, guys, so go ahead and follow behind me here. We'll make our way up to the track. All right, so Steve, we'll just want to double check, and Nick as well, make sure that radio, that rev match is active. Gear indicator should be orange. Make sure we've started our recording on our PDRs if we're running those. We'll do a nice smooth warm-up session this first lap out, or excuse me, warm-up lap, this first one out here, kind of build up our pace. So I'll have you guys just kind of build it up here. Make our way out on the track still. Obviously with the temperature, lack of cloud or lack of sun here, the track is still a little cool. We just want to work on building up that pace, getting comfortable. Real easy to get aggressive here in turn 10. So just nice and smooth, unwind out of turn 10, eyes up down the straightaway here. Build up that pace here throughout the session. Alright, so biggest thing we want to consider here is that visual scanning as we make our way down towards turn 1. Obviously we're going to go down one gear, manual's down to third, auto's down to fourth. Remember that transition period. Try not to jump right over from the brake over to the throttle. Good, back to that constant throttle, and then we'll figure out that timing for that throttle steer. Right before the car gets to that little dip is when you want that throttle steer to occur. And then bring it out to that outer seam there, Mike, a little bit farther, wider, and then you won't have to drive around that near apex quite as much. Turn 3 here, try to keep it nice and tight to the curb so that you can get down to that apex. Don't let it get too far out, no man's land there out in the middle. Good job unwinding there, Mike, and then Steve as well. We want to use all that track there coming out of turn 3. Make big circles, we can carry more speed. Look across now for turn 5. It's really easy to not look far enough ahead. So through this section, we want to look out that driver's window, both places, entering 4 and entering 5, so that we can see those braking markers here down at the end of the straightaway. Long duration on the brake, prolong that release, balance as you make your way into turn 6. Keep that spacing. Steve closing up a little bit too much there on this warm-up lap, so especially in these sections, we want to keep that space so that you're not just staring at that bumper of the car in front of you. Work on your precision. Now try to look across, not at the apex here, but look across at the turn-in here for turn number 9, because that's ultimately where we need to get. If you let that car bleed out to the middle there, it's very difficult to get back in position. Kevin, just watch your spacing back there. We'll start to build the pace here on this next lap. Work our way up into 5th gear here, Mike. Now remember that first brake pressure should be your firmest. Down to 4th gear here. Really look, notice how long I maintain my brake pressure as I turn in, but lighten that pressure. Just a little heavy on the brake there, Mike, as you turned in, and I kind of slowed your momentum. Now, if you clip this apex for turn 2, come out here and straddle this outer seam, and then make that straight line up to the number 1 sign. There you go. Just gotta watch that spacing back there, Kevin. Getting a little tight there. One little bobble by that car in front of you, and you're gonna be in their bumper. Look across here. Use your driver's side window, look over that mirror, try to pick up the turn in for turn 5. And now as you enter 5, look down for those 3, 2, 1 braking markers. Now as we make our way down into 6, lighten that brake pressure, bring it down to the apex here. Hit the back half of these curves through here. Use a little bit of brake to balance. You'll see when my brake lights come on, that's how I'm getting that car to pivot and change direction. There you go, Mike. Nice job. Now, Mike, look across. It's a little bit too wide, and now watch what happens here when I'm able to get this little gap. All right, nice job. All right, Mike, we're going to rotate. I'm going to have you move over to the right here. And then we're going to get Steve behind me. Mike, you're going to tuck in behind the orange car, so you're going to wait for that orange one. And guys, Nick and Kevin, just a little turning in a little early for 10 there, so we want to make sure we are patient and we wait for that turn in. And let's make sure we slow that car down when we're rotating to get that rotation done by the double cone. Okay, Steve, out to that outer seam. Nice straight shot up to that number 1 sign here. Getting it slowed for turn 3, looking across, pick up that apex, get all the way down there. Patience, don't jump right over to that throttle. That's what's going to push us out away from the apex. Use that whole track on the exit, nicely done. Get it slowed now, look over your mirror and see that turn in for turn 5. A little deceptive, it opens up a little more than it looks, just like turn 5 here is tighter than it looks. Alright, Steve, so as we go slow for turn 6, I want to be lightening that brake and really try to look up for all 3 of these apexes. You'll see me stay on that light brake pressure there. Left tire back to that left seat, and then hit the back half of these curves through here. Okay, well done. Now manage your momentum through here. Sacrifice in 8 so that we can be aggressive in 9. Stay to that right side. There you go. Then you can be aggressive between 9 and 10. All right, we'll get another good one in here for Steve. Get a good run down the straightaway. I'm getting calls from the other guys, so I don't want to have to pull in. So I need you to give a little bit more gap. And that's also causing you to just kind of stare at that bumper and mimic that car in front of you. So just get a little bit more gap. Once you get behind me, we'll be able to open it up a little bit. You can, I'll set the pace for you. There we go. Good. Nice job, Steve. Bringing it back down here. Try to roll through 7. Lighten that brake pressure. Just clip the edge of the curbing there. We don't need to get too aggressive on that one. Same thing here for 5. I just look out that driver's side window. That's going to help me with my throttle application as I unwind. So I can see all 3 of these apexes in the first set of S's. Really about positioning myself for this second set. Back half. Just want to be a little bit more patient as you turn in there to hit the back half of these curves to create a little bit of longer straightaway here between 7 and 8. Good correction there by turn 7 there. That was a nice apex. Now look across, guys. Try to pick up the turn-in cone for 9. Instead of focusing on the apex grade, look for that turn-in for 9, and that's going to help you through that segment. Now let's really work on our turn-in here for turn 10. Be patient. Square off turn 10 a little bit. Look down that straightaway. Looking good. All right, Steve, so we're going to rotate. Steve, I'm going to have you move over to the right. And Steve, you'll tuck in behind the blue car. Nick, you can keep your pace up and come in behind me. And when I say that, Steve, it'll be the second blue car, so you're going to let 2 blue cars go by. All right, Nick, you should be in 3rd gear here with your manual. Constant throttle through here. We'll work on timing that throttle steer, a little lift. You'll feel that suspension compression help that car turn. All right, nice and firm on the brake here initially. Lightening that brake, and then have that transition period. Stay off the pedals until you start to straighten the steering wheel. Then we can start to squeeze into the throttle. There we go. Good. Good smooth arc on the exit at 10 there. Start looking across. Pick up your turn 5, turn in. There we go. That looks a lot better back there, Kevin, as well. Nice good apex there in turn 5. All right, Nick. Eyes up here. Looking through the S's here. Use a little throttle as you exit that first set, and then lift off. It's going to help you get back to the right there. But now you got to use the brake for these next 2. A little bit of brake to get it to pivot for you. Okay, guys, spin that head. Look for that turn in for turn 9. Got to get over there to the right. I got to sacrifice an 8 so I can be aggressive in 9. Especially with the automatic. With 3rd gear there, you got a big advantage. You want to take advantage of turn 9 through turn 10. All right, let's keep it rolling here, Nick. Firm to the brake, already scanning for my apex. Smooth roll through that apex, and then start to squeeze back into that throttle. Bring it out to this outer seam, and then a straight shot up the hill. Yeah, again, much like earlier, we want to let that car come out a little bit wider, then you won't have to make 2 right-handers. There we go, looking good. Brake here, get it to turn. Patient, stay on the right side. Use that brake to help it pivot for 9. Alright guys, nice job Nick. We're going to rotate. We'll get Kevin behind me here. So Nick, you're going to tuck behind Steve in the silver 107. Nicely done there, Nick. Very precise. Alright Kevin, come on up behind me here. We should be in 4th gear here with your auto. Patience, roll through the center. Patience, then start to squeeze back into it. Use that little bit of throttle steer here. your mark. Look down that interstate here, Kevin. Smooth with that throttle. Just a little aggressive with that throttle application. Turning in here for 6, looking through the corner. Use a little bit of brake to help you get it to turn. Get that left tire back to its left seat. Manage your momentum through here. Precision. Just gotta hit that one a little bit later in the apex. That'll help you get that car where you need it to be through between 7 and 8. A little aggressive in 80. Cost you in 9. You had a little tight of a corner, so just be patient in 8. That way you can be a little bit more aggressive in 9. That throttle steer to get nice and tight to your apex for 2. Be firm with the brakes, control your slowing here, think about exit. Good. Kind of testing you there to see what you would do on the entry to 3, and you did a nice job of still getting to the brakes. I'm trying to focus on the exit. Try to roll through the center here. Good, don't jump off the brake. Good, better than the last time. Last time you got a little aggressive there. Okay guys, we'll gather up when we get back to the straightaway here. Here to get a straighter shot here. Much better. Now you got a little straightaway, but now be patient here. Look for that turn in for 9. That's where you got to get. You got to stay on this right side. That was a lot better there, Kevin. Did a nice job there of not being so aggressive in 10. But then come turn 10, that was a little bit aggressive at that point. So we're going to rotate. We'll get you back at the back of the group here. All right, so Kevin, you're going to tuck in the back of the group. So guys, keep on coming here. Mike, I'm going to give you one more. I think I miscounted at the start. Kevin, you'll tuck in behind the blue 05 when you see that one go by. Thank you for stopping there, Kevin. You did the right thing. All right, Mike, we'll get you that second lap here. Sorry about that counting mistake early on. Look for that apex, bring it all the way down there, and then it's just a real smooth unwind as we squeeze into the throttle. So my Grand Sports here, you guys can be pretty aggressive as you unwind out of turn 3. The Z06 cars, they got to feather that throttle, a little finesse coming out of 3 a little bit more. Coming out of turn 5, square that one off, look down that inner straight. Use your brakes through here, balance, Mike. Bring those eyes up to the turn 8, turn in. That'll help you with the throttle application. Good. Look across now. Pick up that turn in as soon as you can. So I'll focus on being patient for turn 10. Wait for that turn in, square it off. line that goes straight down the straightaway. We'll get a good run here. We'll start our cool down into turn 1. All right, so we're all going to put it in the 4th gear here once we get into turn 1. And we'll gather up and do a cool down here. Nicely done there, Mike. All right, so as we make our way around here, we'll let the group gather up as we start our cool down here. Most of you did a better job on the exit at 2 there. Come out, straddle this outer seam. Then it lets you just make one corner out of this instead of having to follow the curvature of the track there, which has kind of that double dog leg. Much improved in turn 3. Patience. And then when you add that steering input, get yourself down to that curve and then be aggressive with your unwind here and use acceleration. You can really take advantage of that coming down the hill. The key here in 4 is looking across for turn 5. And then turn 5 is really much like turn 10. It's just tighter than it appears on the approach. So you have to be looking down that inner straight as you approach it, and that'll help you with your hand. After lunch, we're going to talk a little bit about apex technique here. So not so much the first set of S's here, where I'm really just kind of trying to hit the back half of this last one to get my left tires back over to this seam so that I can hit the back half of these curves, or late apex. And we'll get our turn signals on. And really the goal is to make this little short straightaway as long as possible so I can get on the throttle. If you're hanging onto that steering there, that's kind of a struggle. Okay, much better than last session. As you can see, obviously the grip level increasing. Just as although the temperature hasn't changed a lot, and we don't have much sunshine today, so and kind of counteract that with the cold air temperatures, especially the Z06 is making a bigger power today. Okay, so I'll have you guys follow behind me. We'll park in that single file row again. Biggest thing once we pull in here is make sure you get your PDR stopped before you shut your car off. And we're going to do a pretty quick debrief.